Topic number 2. Okay. If vocabulary builds word knowledge, fluency is what gives those words a voice, helping our learners read smoothly, expressively, and with full understanding. Fluency isn't about reading fast. It's about reading with meaning. Kaya mga ka-collabs, let's all welcome ulit para sa Building Fluency in Reading Comprehension, our remediation expert, the one and only Teacher Anne Sheila Tan Chai! Welcome back, Teacher Anne!
Thank you so much, Teacher Erica.
Diba?
Ayan.
Alam ko excited ang ating mga ka-collabs to glean more from your expertise and insights. Kasi kanina pa po nila paulit-ulit na tinatype ang possum. Parang talaga pong nag-stick sa kanila
Yay!
yung possum. Ano? Pati sa akin din, nag-stick din. Ayan. And without further ado, Teacher Anne, the floor is yours.
All right. So again, good morning to everyone. And again, we will now talk about another component of literacy this time. Oral reading fluency naman ang ating tututukan. Ano nga ba ang session objectives natin? First, we will try to define what reading fluency is or what oral reading fluency is. Meron po siyang mga components na pag-uusapan natin. Ano nga ba ang connection niya sa comprehension? Okay? At ano rin yung mga signs ng mga fluency difficulties among our learners. And also, we will try to identify effective strategies in building fluency in our learners and apply these strategies also to help support our learners. For the first activity, I want you guys to listen. Listen to this audio clip of a child who is reading a passage. Okay?
The sun gives us the so
So,
it
papakinggan natin.
is
Papakinggan
not
natin.
black all the time. The sun makes it hot, so where will begins is not as cold as it can be.
All right. So, we'll play the audio again.
All the sun helps you. You have to have the sun to live. Very good. The sun gives us the so it is not black all the time. The sun makes it hot, so where begins is not as cold as it can be. All the time.
All right. Thank you so much. No? So even before I flashed this question, some of you already put answers, no, or your observations in the chat box. So you answered question number 2. What do you notice about the students reading? Word for word, no, or word by word po ang reading, or slow po, no? Napansin natin na medyo mabagal yung pagbasa. And Kakolab Eva said, this is a problem in our school. Even my son also has a problem with reading speed and accuracy. So we do notice that this child here was reading at a very slow pace. But let's go to the first question. Were you able to understand what the passage was about? So again, thank you so much for your observations about how the child was reading. My next question is, what was the passage about? So Somebody said the sun. Somebody said choppy. The reading was choppy. And Kakolab Zenny said parang hindi niya naintindihan. Sabi lang niya no. Parang I didn't understand what the passage was about. But you are correct, no? Somebody answered kanina, it was about the sun, but we're not really entirely sure what the passage was about, even if some of you may have listened to the audio clip twice, okay? Now, let's try to see if the second student's reading will be better, okay? So, open up your listening ears. Pakinggan naman natin tong ikalawang bata. And we're also gonna try to play it twice, okay?
The sun helps you. You have to have the sun to live. The sun gives us day, so it's not black all the time. The sun makes it hot, so where we live is not as cold as it can be all the time. The sun helps you. You have to have the sun to live. The sun gives us day, so it's not black all the time. The sun makes it hot, so where we live is not as cold as it can be all the time.
I have from Amelia, Kakolab Amelia said, the sun gives us day, so it's not black all the time. So she was able to get that from the passage, the some of the sentences, no? So what was the passage about? It's about the sun. So now, during the second reading, we notice that the reader is now a faster reader, and a lot of you are already answering that the passage is about the sun. And one of you even typed in the whole sentence, no? It's clear now, it's about the benefits of the sun. Correct. Tama po si Kakolab na lumagpas na po yung name. It's about the benefits of the sun. The sun gives us day, so it's not black all the time. The sun gives us warmth, so it's not so cold all the time. All right. So this one, this audio clip really just tells us or makes us understand, no, why is fluency important for reading comprehension. So again, ano yung napansin ninyo? Why is fluency or ano yung connection ng reading fluency sa reading comprehension? So Kakolab Amelia said, the reader knows when to pause or stop. All right, so if you are a fluent reader, you are able to pause at the end of a sentence or at the end of make a short pause at the end of a phrase, and it makes the meaning clearer or more easily understood. Kakolab Jenalyn said, the child reads with confidence. If you are a fluent reader, you are able to read with confidence. And Kakolab Ruben even typed in the whole passage for us kasi mas naintindihan kapag ganun po yung pagbasa. So from Kakolab Vanessa, fast reader doesn't mean he understands well what they read. Tama po, no? Hindi naman porke mabilis yung pagbasa ni reader number 2, sigurado na tayong naiintindihan nila. But it can be an indicator. Kumbaga, mas likely, mas malaki yung probability na naiintindihan niya yung binabasa niya kapag mas mabilis yung pagbasa niya. Compared to reader number 1 na super, medyo effortful talaga yung reading. So it takes the reader number 1, it took her so much time to read a whole sentence that by the end of the sentence, she probably already forgot what the first word was or what the first phrase was because she was concentrating on decoding. So that's how fluency is linked to reading comprehension. All right. So again, it's important because fluency is an indicator. It's one of the indicators of reading comprehension. One of the many indicators of reading comprehension. So, let's define first what is oral reading fluency. Oral reading fluency may be defined as reasonably accurate reading at an appropriate rate with suitable expression that leads to accurate and deep comprehension and motivation to read. So this definition of oral reading fluency tells us that fluency has three components. Number one, reasonably accurate reading, tamang pagbasa. Number two, appropriate rate. Hindi natin sinabing kailangan na sobrang bilis niyang magbasa, pero hindi rin pwedeng sobrang bagal. Sakto lang dapat, okay? And number three, with suitable expression. So kung merong mga dapat na i-emphasize, kung merong mga dapat na palalimin, no? Maririnig natin yun sa boses ng reader kung naiintindihan niya yung binabasa niya kasi tama yung pagbasa niya with expression. And all these things, accuracy, speed, and prosody, they lead to accurate and deep comprehension. It leads to comprehension. Nagiging tulay or daan siya sa understanding ng bata and motivation to read. Okay, so again, kahalagahan ng oral reading fluency, it's the bridge to reading comprehension. Pangtawid nila yon para makatawid sila sa understanding. Okay? So again, the three key elements, you have accuracy, tamang pagbasa, speed, tamang speed, tamang bilis, there you go. And then expression or prosody. So accuracy is the foundation of fluency. First and foremost, dapat tama yung pagbasa. Pag nakasulat dyan, H-O-U-S-E, dapat ang basa dyan house, hindi horse, hindi mouse. Okay? So accuracy, tamang pagbasa. The rate here refers to speed, which can be measured in words correct per minute. Ilang words ang nababasa sa loob ng 1 minuto. But the focus should be on appropriate rate. Again, tamang bilis, not necessarily speedy. We don't want our kids to practice reading just for speed's sake. Okay? Hindi naman yun yung end goal natin. Okay? And then finally, prosody refers to reading with expression. This includes phrasing, emphasis, and intonation. So phrasing, ibig sabihin kapag may chunks of words na dapat magkakasama, kunyari, on the bed, ganyan. Hindi mo siya puputulin on the bed. Okay? Mas pangit pakinggan pag hindi tama yung phrasing. Emphasis, if you need to emphasize something. And then intonation, kunyari, it's a question, so dapat medyo tataas yung boses. Have you eaten? Instead of have you eaten, 'di ba? Yung parang robot na hindi tama yung intonation. So that's what we mean by prosody. Now, how is vocabulary linked to oral reading fluency? This is something that we already kind of discussed a while ago, 'di ba? Yung example natin ng wind at saka wind, naalala niyo po, no? So, when we look at the words, we try to sound it out in our head. So, another word, for example, hand. So, yung word na hand, pag nabasa niyo yung H-A-N-D, it activates a lot of possible meanings of the word hand. Kunyari, hand me the scissors or give me a hand, no? Ibig sabihin, give me some help. Hand me the scissors, iabot mo sa akin. Or ano pa yung body part. Kunyari, she has slender, graceful hands when she's dancing. Parang ganyan. So that one naman pertains to body part. So all of these different meanings of the word are activated when we read the words using our phonics knowledge. But the right meaning should be affirmed depending on the context of the word or how it's used in the sentence. So that's how vocabulary is linked to oral reading fluency. Not just the pronunciation of the word also, no, but the correct meaning of the word. And then we are able to read the sentence more smoothly if we connect it to the right meaning of the word. And this is especially important for words with multiple meanings. Kasi a lot of words have multiple meanings. Hindi siya isang meaning lang for all different contexts. No? So that's something that we need to remember also. Which leads us to the theory of automaticity. Ano ba yung automaticity theory na sinasabi? At this is very crucial for oral reading fluency. Yung kaninang napakinggan natin, she's a beginning reader. Okay? So in essence, she is still figuring out the sounds in words. In her head, when she sees the letters, medyo hindi pa ganun kabilis yung pag-connect niya nung letters na nakikita niya dun sa sounds in her head. So it takes her a lot of time to decode the word. Kaya mabagal yung pagbasa niya. Ibig sabihin ng nito, yung attention ng bata nandoon sa decoding aspect. All her attention is focused on just really sounding out the word. In a way that hindi na niya masyadong napapansin yung comprehension aspect ng word. Hindi na niya naiintindihan actually, or she's not really giving focus on what the word means until she is able to decode the words. So, for beginning readers, your attention has to switch between decoding and comprehension. Kasi nga, hindi pa niya kabisado eh. Nagsa-sound out pa siya in her head, okay? But when you are a fluent reader, decoding becomes so automatic. It happens in a matter of milliseconds. Makita mo yung word, alam mo na agad what it is, so you are able to focus your attention solely on understanding what the sentence or the passage is trying to say. And this is what we want our readers to become. We want them to be automatic. We want them to be automatic decoders so that all their attention is now focused on understanding the word. And to help our learners, we have to develop automaticity at all levels. Starting from the letter sound level. Hindi yung titignan niya at iisipin niya, B ba to or D? P ba to or Q? No? So dapat automatic na dapat yun. Dapat mabilis na mabilis yung recall niya nung letters at yung sounds na nakakabit dun sa letter na yun. They should be able to read words, whether it's a regularly spelled word or a high-frequency, irregularly spelled word. Dapat nababasa niya yung mga words na to nang mabilis. They should be able to decode sentences and passages automatically. That's what we want our learners to have. We want our learners to be fluent readers. Okay? And how do we develop that? Through practice. Practice leads to automaticity, and automaticity leads to comprehension. So again, what do we mean by automatic? When we say that the child can read automatically, that means the word can be recognized instantly. Nakita niya yung series of letters, H-E-A-D. Alam na niya agad, head. Head. It pertains to the head. So the child does not need to sound out, D. Kasi pag nakita niya yung string of letters na yun, automatic na alam na niya that it's head. Okay? So that's what we want. We want our readers to be automatic. And how do we develop automaticity? According to research, children need at least 1 to 4 times exposure to the word. Dapat makita niya yung word na yun at mabasa niya yung word na yun at least 1 to 4 times. And this number is for typically developing readers. Okay? Readers who have no difficulties in reading. 1 to 4 times, makita niya yung word, na ma-map na yun sa brain nila. It's part of their brain scheme already, or it's already mapped, nandun na sa brain nila. So pag nakita nila, on the 5th time, automatic na yung pagbasa nila. But this number does not apply to struggling readers or readers who have difficulty connecting pa at the letter sound level. For them, for our struggling readers, they need probably hundreds of times of exposure. Ang dami, madami, maybe 10 times more or 100 times more bago nagiging automatic yung pagbasa. So, kailangan talaga ng practice. Practice leads to automaticity, and automaticity leads to comprehension. So again, developing readers, yung mga nakakabasa na pero mabagal. Tama? These are our developing readers. They need more practice to improve their fluency skills. So we are happy that they can already connect the letters and the sounds, and they're able to decode words. Now, we need them to be automatic in this process. All right? Think and share. What are some signs of oral reading difficulties that you have observed in your students? So balitaan niyo po ako. Ano-ano yung mga napapansin ninyo or paano niyo masasabi na yung mga estudyante ninyo have difficulties in oral reading fluency? And some of you no already mentioned this during our first activity. Sabi ninyo kanina, para siyang yung reader ko. Yung kaninang pinarinig natin kanina na reader, sabi ninyo kanina, para siyang yung reader ko sa class. Ganyan din sila magbasa. Okay? So ano ba yung signs? Ano ba yung mga paano natin masasabi na nahihirapan silang magbasa? Choppy reading, correct. Kakolab Jeffrey. Choppy reading is a sign of a fluency difficulty. According to Kakolab Jonalie, they can read now, but they cannot read the same word the next day. Tama, no? Uy, nabasa na natin to kahapon, pero pagdating kinabukasan, hindi na naman niya ulit alam. Okay, and they have to do it again sound by sound. Okay, repetition. According to Kakolab Rachel, skipping words or mispronouncing words. Again, these are just some of the signs of fluency difficulties. Okay, according to Vicente, they don't want to speak in front of the class. So when you're asking them to read, they don't want to do that, all right? They are hesitant to read the words, all right? They lack interest. So, ayan, you are already giving me the signs no, of oral reading difficulties in your students. So napapansin ninyo, sino sa mga estudyante ninyo yung kailangan ng tulong sa pagdevelop ng oral reading fluency. Now, let's go to another question. Thank you so much for that, yung parang robot na pagbasa. My next question. Think and share. True or false question po ito, no? So I want you guys to answer true or false in the chat box. One of the best ways to develop oral reading fluency is to do round-robin reading in class. So maybe before you can answer, let's clarify, what does round-robin reading mean? Round-robin reading means, halimbawa si teacher at yung mga bata, may hawak po kayong libro. Tapos i-assign po ninyo. So, Anne, pakibasa yung paragraph 1. John, pakibasa yung paragraph 2. Rayana, pakibasa yung paragraph 3. Parang ganyan, no? So, walang preparation whatsoever. Pagkatapos magbasa ng first student, you will randomly point to another student and ask them to read the next passage. So that's round-robin reading. Kasi ang gusto mo, lahat ng mga estudyante mo are given opportunities to read. So is this a good way or the best way to develop oral reading fluency? Ayan, I have answers here. True, 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 true. Bakit po? Bakit po sabi ninyo true po siya? Meron pong sumagot ng false. Konti lang po. Gusto ko rin pong malaman. Bakit false? Okay? Can you kindly explain briefly why you say that this is a good way to develop oral reading fluency? Or if your answer is false, bakit po false ang sagot ninyo? Wow. Anong tawag doon? Parang 90% answered true. And we have some false answers. Konti lang po ang false answers. Okay. I hope you guys will take the time to explain, no? Why you say that this is one of the best ways to develop oral reading fluency. Or for those who also answered false, I want to know also why. Why is it false for you? All right. Okay, Kakolab Julie said true. Kakolab Liana said true, so that they are attentive to listen and comprehend. Okay, so sabi ni Kakolab Liana, mapipilitan silang makinig kasi baka tawagin sila next. Okay? And they are forced to understand daw. Okay? Meron pa? According to Kakolab Julie also, it helps them pay attention to what they are reading. Probably because natatakot silang matawag next, kaya they have to pay attention. Okay. Kakolab Jonalie said false because some might find it intimidating and may fear to read. Kakolab Betty said false if the learners are not all good readers. All right. So yan, meron po tayong both sides of the coin. Some say it's true, some say it's false. Okay? Kakulab, Joanne said, false also. It's not the best way. All right. This can be used for those who are grade level ready, but for developing and slow readers, it may not be applicable. Oh, I love this answer, no? It may be good for some who are already reading at grade level, but for developing and emerging readers, this is not, uulitin natin this is not the best way to develop oral reading fluency. Bakit? And I know that some of you already answered here. Mahihiya ang bata. Sabi ni Kakulab Rosario, lalo na yung mga hindi nakakabasa ng mabuti. Baka hindi siya tumayo at magbasa. Imagine if you already know, and children know for sure, whether or not they are good readers, di ba? Alam mo na ngang hindi ka magaling, tapos patatayuin ka pa sa harap ng lahat ng kaklase mo at pipilitin kang magbasa ng something that you know you cannot do. Okay? Think of the anxiety that gives to our readers who are struggling or who are still developing their reading skills. Diba? Sobrang nakaka-nervyos, nakakatakot yung feeling na yon na I am being asked to do something that I know I am not good at. And I have to do this in front of everyone. Alright? So it develops anxiety. Lalong na-nervousin, sabi ng mga kapag hindi ka galingan bumasa. So again, this is really good if you have a class full of readers who are reading at grade level. May pabonggahan pa dyan. I'm sure there are some of your students. And tayo rin as adults, if we are called to do something that we are really good at and we shine at it, we delight in taking the center stage and read to everyone. But you have to be also mindful of students who may not have the right skills yet, okay? Tapos, they are forced to do this in front of everyone. They are forced to show everyone that they are struggling. So please, please, please be mindful of doing round-robin reading in class. Okay? So thank you for all your answers. So kung sabi natin, this is not the best way to do round-robin reading. Let's now find out, ano ba ang mga paraan, ang mga iba't ibang paraan para ma-develop yung oral reading fluency in a way na hindi po mapapahiya yung mga kids natin who are still learning to read. All right? So, we have here some principles of fluency instruction. 4 lang po. Modeling. Modeling means si teacher muna. Importante na minomodel ni teacher yung tamang pagbasa. And then, number 2, support. May support po ng teacher habang natututo yung mga bata. There is teacher support or peer support. Kung si teacher busy, pwede siyang mag-assign ng classmate or peer to support the learner. Next is focus on meaningful phrases. So again, ang focus natin is on creating meaning, not just speed reading. We should be able to teach our learners to read fluently because we want them to read with meaning and purpose. And finally, this is the one that we also highlighted a while ago. We give our students many, many, many opportunities to read. Practice makes automatic, and automaticity leads to comprehension. That's why it's very important that we let them practice, which is another reason why round-robin reading is not really a good idea. Kasi hindi nyo man lang binigyan ng chance yung batang mag-practice. Tatawagin mo na lang siya bigla. In a matter of seconds, kailangan mabasa na niya yung, tatayo na siya at babasahin na niya yun nang walang practice. So, we give them chance to practice first before we ask them to read. Okay? Hindi na natin siya bibigyan ng chance to read dahil nagsistruggle siya. Pero bigyan niyo sila ng support, bigyan niyo sila ng practice bago niyo sila tawagin para magbasa in front. Alright? Ayan. Now, let's go to strategies. Ayan. According to, Kakulab Maria, you can use strategies like repeated reading, paired reading, and choral reading. These are more effective than round-robin reading. And we will be talking about some of these, Kakulab Maria. So let's begin with sentence pyramids. If you will notice on the screen, may sentence po dyan at ang shape niya ay pyramid. Kaya ang tawag dyan ay sentence pyramid. Bakit po ito helpful? You remember, no? Some of you mentioned a while ago. You have readers who seem to already know how to read a word, and then the following opportunity, you ask them to read the same word, they don't know it anymore. And this really happens when our learners are still at the emergent reading stage, no? Yung nagko-connect pa lang sila ng letter sound. So, in this strategy, they will notice that the words are already repeated. So they are prompted not to sound out anymore. So pag na-sound out na nila yung Pam, Pam. So in their head, they sound out Pam. Tapos nakita nila, it's the same word. Mababasa na niya mas automatically kasi ulit lang siya. So Pam, tapos magfo-focus na siya dun sa second word which is can. Pam, can. So nabasa na niya yung Pam, can. Pagdating sa third line, Pam, can, kasi ulit lang siya, and then focus lang siya dun sa pangatlo. Pam can sing. Okay, so nabasa niya Pam can sing. So pagdating sa fourth line, Pam can sing in. Pam can sing in the, Pam can sing in the rink. Hanggang mabasa niya yung buong sentence na mabilis-bilis na kasi nakapag-practice na siya ng ilang beses doon sa top part. Okay? And then when you go to the end of the line or when you go to the end of the sentence, you can ask them to phrase it. So you can put slashes or you can put arcs, no? Na ang pagbasa nito, magkakasama yung Pam can sing in the rink. So this is an example of phrase-cued reading. So if-phrase natin siya para maging meaningful. Hindi natin siya hahatiin na Pam can sing in the rink. So hindi siya magandang pakinggan. So tuturuan natin sila paano natin siya if-phrase in a way that makes it sound more natural. Pam can sing in the rink. Okay? Another example. So this one, again, if you're teaching learned words like WHO, who. So pag nabasa nila yung who, ulit-ulit na lang siya. Who is the king of the pond. Parang ganon. All right. So in this sentence, so we can ask them to say, who is the king of the pond? The king of the pond is one phrase, so they have to read it together. So again, this just tells us the importance of proper phrasing. Let's try this one. How do you chunk this sentence? Ayan, I need you to answer as quickly as you can. Put slashes between the phrases or between the words that should be together, okay? The sentence is, I like baking my family and my dog. Okay. So hindi po ganyan yung pagbasa niyan, 'di ba? I like baking my family and my dog. Paano ang magandang phrasing ng sentence na ito? All right. Ayan. I like baking, my family, and my dog. Tama. All right. Thank you so much, Kakolab Jenner. So, medyo tricky to kasi dapat sa totoo lang, may commas po itong sentence na ito. I like baking, comma, my family, comma, and my dog. Hindi pwedeng magkasama si I like baking my family. Definitely. All right? Kasi, ano yun? Carnivore po siya. Tawag doon. Whatever. All right. Okay, let's go to our second strategy, which is repeated reading, no? Something that you already mentioned a while ago. In repeated reading, you just ask the child to read different stimulus repeatedly. So sa sample natin, ginawa po natin siyang parang game board. Okay? So sa sample natin, nakalagay po dito yung magic E words. Words that have magic E at the end that make the vowel say their name. So this is really helpful for emergent readers kasi sanay sila, pag nagsa-sound out sila, sanay sila na yung vowels say their short vowel sound. So kunyari, sail. Ang basa nila dyan, sale. Kasi sanay sila na yung A, ang sound niya, ang letter A, ang sound niya A. Ang letter E, ang sound niya E. Pero we need to give them practice na masanay sila na pag may letter E sa dulo, ang letter A, ang sound niya ngayon A na. Okay? So ang instruction lang dito, read as many words as you can in 1 minute. So sail, use, ape, bike, hoop, ganyan. And then you record the number in the graph. Kaya may graph po dyan. So sa first reading, kunyari today, pinractice natin siya. Nakabasa siya ng 8 words lang. You try it again tomorrow. You use the same set of words. You ask them to read. This time, magiging faster na yung pagbasa niya kasi second reading na niya. So, igagraph mo ulit yon. Halimbawa, naging 10 words na siya. Tapos sa third reading, at another time, you can ask them to graph it again, tapos bibilis ng bibilis. So maganda na ginagraph natin kasi nakikita ng mga bata, ay bumibilis na ako, ang dami ko nang nababasa in the same amount of time, in 1 minute. Dati 5 words lang yung nababasa ko, ngayon 10 na, ngayon 15 words na. So you can do repeated readings at different levels. Kasama dito yung letter level, word level, sentence level, passage level. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ito ang halimbawa ng repeated reading at the letter level. So we have a letter fluency game, magda-dice po sila. Tapos kunyari napili nila yung number 3, ay nahulog pala yung dice ng number 3. So babasahin nila yung row of letters ng as fast as they can. K, T, S, I, X, U, Z, N, J, Q, C, V. Alright, you can do that. Letter names, or you can ask them to do the letter sound. So, kunyari, roll the dice in number 2, you ask them to sound out the letters as quickly as they can. So, row number 2, R, D, N, O, B, ganon, okay? Kailangan mabilis. So, we want them to be super automatic, kaya we give them practice like this, alright? And then, we can also have repeated reading at the passage level. So at the passage level, bibigyan nyo sila ng text, hindi siya kailangan masyadong mahaba. Maximum is 200 words, okay? And then you ask them to read the passage repeatedly, paulit-ulit, on their own, okay? Babasahin muna ni teacher, tapos bibigyan mo sila ng time to practice reading the passage, and then you can check later kung how many words that they can read in 1 minute, something like that, okay? So again, repeated readings, we give them sufficiently challenging texts. Hindi na kailangan yung something na nababasa na nila automatically. We want to up their level. Kung nasa ganitong level na siya ngayon, ito yung nababasa niya independently, I will give her something that's a little bit more challenging para ma-stretch yung skills niya, no? Para masanay siyang magbasa ng a little bit harder texts. You can also use text sets. Text sets, ibig sabihin, same topic, mayroon silang similarity, may same words, pero it's not exactly the same set of text. Okay? So halimbawa, yung kanina, pancakes for breakfast or a pancake breakfast. Kwento po siya, di ba? Kwento po siya ng isang pamilyang nag-breakfast. Dun yung another text set that you can read is how to make pancakes, procedural text or informative text naman. Pero nandun pa rin yung mga words na pancake, flour, butter, etc., etc. So, text set. Yun po yung text set. Alright? Yan. So that's repeated reading. And in your handouts, we will give you parang ideas on how to do repeated readings at different levels. So just remember that you can do repeated reading at the letter level, word level, sentence level, or passage level. Finally, we have choral reading, which is again something that you guys already mentioned a while ago. Choral reading or reader's theater. This is one of the better ways to develop oral reading fluency. When we do choral reading or reader's theater, the focus is now on prosody, reading with proper expression and motivation. Mas nakakaengganyo sa mga bata ang choral reading or reader's theater. So, iuulitin lang natin, no? Kanina sa repeated reading, ang focus natin was really speed, which is one of the elements of reading fluency. Gusto natin bumilis sila, gusto natin dumami yung words that they can read in 1 minute. For choral reading naman, the emphasis is on prosody, reading with expression. And you can use choral reading or reader's theater across subject areas. Again, pwede po siya sa science, pwede siya sa math, pwede siya sa makabansa, not just for English or Filipino subjects. Alright. And then for texts, ang kaibahan nito is you use scripts or poems for choral reading. Okay? So yung sample po natin dito is a sample script. Meron tayong mga lines that are mentioned by narrators, lines that are mentioned by characters, and you assign a student to perform one of the characters in the script para sila yung babasahin nila. Okay? And then you give them opportunities to practice as a group, and then they will try to use their voice acting skills, no, to read these words or to read these sentences with proper prosody and with proper expression. So why does it work? It encourages expressive reading. It's engaging for the learners, and the group provides support and confidence. So unlike round-robin reading na mag-isa kang nagbabasa, dito, sama-sama kayong magpa-practice kasi you're going to perform as a group. Even with choral reading, when you're going to assign them to read a poem, for example, sama-sama silang magbabasa. Hindi mo sinisingle out yung isang bata. Okay? So let's now go to the instructional design for all repeated readings or choral reading strategies. You can do the I do, we do, and you do, or the explicit teaching framework. All right. So in the I do part, si teacher will select a brief text. Again, keep it brief. Wag po tayong magpabasa ng like 3 or 4 pages long na passage, no? Ang haba po nun sobra. So keep the text brief, 50 to 200 words depending on your grade level, the grade level that you teach. And in the I do part, it's very important for the teacher to model the reading of the text at least twice or thrice, no? And the students follow along silently. So in modeling, the teacher is the one who reads first. And you can read it not just once, read it twice, read it 3 times, okay? So si teacher will model how fluent reading is done. In the we do part, before you proceed to let them reading, you discuss the meaning of the text first and the quality of the oral reading that you want them to show, okay? So again, focus first on the meaning of the text. Bakit natin siya kailangan basahin ng ganito? Kasi ito ay isang chunk of words that mean this. Okay? And then the quality of oral reading. So napansin niyo po ba, mga bata, na itong line na to, paggalit ko siyang sinabi. Kasi galit yung bata dito sa story na ito. And then after that, the students read the selection chorally as a group. Isang buong grupo silang magbabasa ng text all together. That's why it's called the we do. Kasi lahat tayo magbabasa. And then finally, we go to the you do, where you divide the students into partners or pairs and you do paired repeated readings. So dito, i-ano mo na sila, ipagpa-partner mo na sila. And another tip for partnering, hindi kailangan magka-same level, no? So, meron kayong children who can read at a higher ability level, and then you have children who can read na mas hirap. So, pwede natin i-partner yung high level tsaka low level or emerging and developing, something like that, para para matulungan mag-provide ng support yung better reader doon sa mas hirap magbasa. So that's what we mean by providing support. The peer provides the support. And it's also good for the developing reader because it gives them confidence, no? Na I can do this. I can also help my classmate. And the classmate will learn from that person also. And then, they take turns. So hindi lang si good reader or better reader ang magbabasa, the partner who's listening will also provide feedback. Maganda yung pagbasa mo nito, okay? Oh, now it's your turn. And then he will also provide feedback on how the other reader read. So that's doing the paired reading. And then you perform the reading. So after a lot of practice, madaming practice, you give them time to practice on their own. Now, you call them and ask them to perform in front of the class. So, ito na po yung performance level nila. So, again, hindi natin sila tatawagin ng blank, parang yung biglaan without giving them a chance to practice. Okay? And the option here is they get to bring home the text and read it to their family. Okay? So, this is a sample of a short text for math or science na pwede nating basahin sa ating mga students, and you can use this for choral reading practice. I like green. Can I mix the colors? If I mix red and blue, will I get green? No, I will not get green. If I mix red and yellow, will I get green? No, red and yellow do not mix into green, etc., etc. So we're not going to read the whole story, but again, This is from Flyleaf Publishing, and we will put a link po sa handout natin para you can get free books like this that you can use in your class. Okay? So maiksi, no? If you will notice, maiksi lang yung mga texts. It's just one line per page. So you can transfer it to a document and then ask them to do repeated readings of the text. All right? And then to read it with proper expression. Ayan. So, let's try it. I want you to think about the reading materials that you have in your class, whether it's a decodable story, whether it's a science text, for example, if you're talking about the water cycle, whether it's a poem or rhyme or a dialogue from a reading lesson. Ano ang magandang strategy na gagamitin mo para ma-develop yung oral reading fluency ng mga bata? So you can share in the chat. I would use blank strategy with a blank type of text to help my students improve blank. Ano ba yung focus mo? Accuracy ba? Tamang pagbasa? Speed? Mabilis? Gusto mo bang maging mabilis sila? Or prosody or proper expression? There. So I will wait for your answers in the chat box. Sige, while we're waiting for your answers, we'll just share our takeaways for today. Something that I hope you guys will remember. Reading fluently does not mean reading fast. It's more than that, okay? Oral reading fluency promotes comprehension through automaticity and expression. And all fluency development strategies provide, number one, support. May supportan ng teacher, may supportan ng classmate. They provide structure. There is a clear plan or routine to know what to expect. Okay? Hindi bigla-bigla si teacher magtatawag. There is repetition. May time for them to practice so that they will develop confidence and automaticity. Okay? Fluency develops with opportunities to hear fluent reading. Teachers should model fluent reading. They should practice with support, and they should perform with purpose. This one will boost their motivation and confidence, no, when they perform with purpose.